Okay then, this is Gates of Zendecon, and bugger in hell is this disappointing. It's disappointing for many reasons. It was an early launch game, so, you know, there was high expectations for the Lynx. I absolutely love shoot 'em ups. I mean, I love them. And this is just rubbish. But the most frustrating thing about this game is that it could be so good because there's so many good gameplay mechanics in it. There's really little neat touches, like the way your ship slowly falls apart depending on where it gets hit. The way you can use your boosters at the back of your ship to actually kill things. That's not done in very many shooters, and it's a really little clever idea. The level design as well. Alright, the level design is shit, but some of the stuff in the levels is really clever. Look at that, he just basically took out the UFO with his back boosters. Really good, and you just don't see that in a lot of shooters. However, there's just far too many problems with this. The biggest problem is look how slow it is. You know, I've seen snails with asthma move quicker than this, and you know, basically, you just don't need it. Shoot 'em ups need to be a nice fast pace. They need to have good music which really like fuels you on to basically get anywhere in them. And this just doesn't have that. The other problem as well, which you may have guessed by now, is that the playing area is far too large. Alright, you've only got the screen to move around it, but the fact is, you can move up several screens, and it's just ridiculous. You don't need that space. Basically, if they had focused on it, it would have been far better. Now the gates are a good idea because they're effectively warp points, and you don't always have to go in the first gate you come across. You can go into a later one which will take you, effectively jump you to a later stage, which again is really clever. And this is a nice touch. If your ship is shot to shit, you can basically take a risk and land it, and then obviously get a fresh new one. Failing that, you can just move on. Oh, it really upsets me because there are but basically, you know, it says it all when the best Atari Lynx shoot 'em up has literally only just come out. It's a homebrew game, Zaku. I would love to obviously show you a video of that, but unfortunately the Lynx isn't the best thing for basically showing if you're just using it straight off the handheld. And because obviously it's a commercial product, I'll check with the company, but I can't see that they're going to be willing to let me use it ROM because, you know, basically it's just too dodgy. So unfortunately, you're stuck with Gates of Zendecon and Zala Mercenary. Zala Mercenary gets a lot of praise in the Lynx community, but that is literally because it's a half-decent shooter, not because it's a good shooter. I'll tell a lie, you can get Raiden as well, but it's quite hard to get hold of, and again, it's not a particularly great conversion. Now, that XRXS that you can see, that's basically passwords. So again, as with a lot of early Lynx games, before battery backup come along, you could literally just put in a password and you can skip forwards. Now here's an example of something which is good. You know, basically, you leave these little organic things to grow, and they'll slowly fill up the screen like that, making the game a bit of a challenge. But again, you know, it would work so much better if you just had a single screen and if everything was a little bit nippier. Because, you know, the graphics are okay. They're not bad. You've got some really lovely explosions which look pretty damn sexy. But there's just not enough to it. And while the levels are fairly short, the actual design of them for the most part is absolutely horrendous. The music is, for a better word, shit. Alright, there's much better words you can use, but it is shit. The actual ship design is nothing special. The power-ups are crap, and it is a real disappointment because the Lynx is capable of some really impressive stuff, as Blue Light improved when it first came out as a launch title, and this just hasn't got what it takes, unfortunately. That really upsets me. But if for whatever reason you do want to get this game, and it's easy to get hold of, fortunately, bearing in mind though that there's various versions of it, being a launch title for the Lynx, this was one of the first games to come out where Atari thought it would be a great idea if they actually just gave you like a flat cartridge, kind of like the PC Engine cards, Hue cards. Although the difference is that when you put a PC Engine Hue card into the back of a PC Engine or into a Turbo Graphics, you can get the sod out again afterwards. With the Atari Lynx, they're so hard to pull out that you need to use like a pair of pliers to stand any chance of actually doing it. So there's actually, I'm pretty sure there's 3 versions of Gates of Zendecon. You've got one with nothing on the back of it. You've got one which has got 2 little nubbins that you can basically use to get a bit of leverage. And then you've got the final one, which is the curved lip, which was pretty much used on every single Lynx game. And so, you know, if you are going to get one, try and get the curved lip one. Oh, of course, if you're a completist, you know you're going to want all 3 of them. Fortunately, the game can be picked up for around 3 to 5 quid. I certainly wouldn't pay any more than that because it just simply isn't good enough. So again, I think this is a pretty cool level coming up. You've got these big, huge blocks that you have to destroy, Easter egg grabbing style. But again, it was all too little, too late for me. I mean, you know, I grew up in the arcade, and after Blue Lightning proved to me that it was possible to have really thrilling arcade experiences.